So every ship has anchors. They have them today, they had them back then. It was crucial for their safety. And occasionally they would drop one in the water and someone would have forgotten to hook up the chain on the other end. And the whole anchor and all the chain would go right into the water. Now sometimes they would have anchors that were really anchored and they just had to give up the chain because they couldn't get it back up on their boat. So you could lose anchors two different ways. Neither one of these anchors was embedded in the bottom. These were oopses, where they went to drop anchor and somebody forgot to hook up the chain. They were just sitting there on the bottom, and the one with the wooden stock is from the 1700s, and the metal stock one is from the 1800s.
John Stifel is a diver and treasure hunter. He spent many years combing Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence River for treasures, objects that might not actually be monetary in value, but hold historical interest or sentimental appeal.
So on the dive boat, we had a sonar system, side-scan sonar, with displays on the where we're operating the boat, inside the dashes. And we could see 100 yards, both directions of the boat, both left and right, everything that was on the bottom. And it would pick up the least little deformity on the bottom. It would pick these things up like crazy. I remember the day we were doing these, all of a sudden it's like, wow, look at that anchor, right? I mean, you could see it right on the screen. And then it would give us our exact coordinates. We just click on that with our mouse, we bring back a boat around, drop anchor, and we'd be right on top of the treasure that we were looking at. We have 1,000-pound airbags that we would attach to a piece of treasure like this down on the bottom. And we'd have an air tank down there and hoses, and I would hook up and expand and fill up the airbags. And that's how these things would be taken off the bottom and floated to the surface. And sometimes that worked okay, sometimes it didn't, but it was all part of the adventure. The airbags are keeping them supported, and we float them in. And the metal one, when we were hooking up the chains from the backhoe to the anchor that was floating there in the water, somebody didn't hook up the chain quite right. And so as we lifted it up out, I happened to be down there giving directions, and the chain let go. That close to death. Didn't get hurt, I got out of the way, but I mean, I'm telling you, part of it pushed me down into the mud, which thank God it wasn't total rocks, okay? It's okay, I mean, it was just, but it's one of those things, if you're not careful, it's like anything else, it can be very dangerous. And what happens is after you do this over and over and over, you get used to it and you start not respecting the danger that's still there, even though you've gotten so comfortable with it, it's like no big deal to you. So I took them and had them in my front yard, or side yard, down in the village here. So it got a lot of attraction. A lot of people slow down, look at the anchors. And then finally somebody from the DEC came in and said, hey, I got a complaint that you took these off the bottom of the river. I said, yeah, I did. I'm not hiding them, here they are. And he says, well, you're really not supposed to do that. So I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'll put them back if you want me to. And, but I said, I've talked to the village and they're interested in having them put in the park. And he said, well, that's the perfect thing to do. And then everybody can see them, and you're not in trouble, I'm not in trouble, and we can all keep looking at the anchors. And that's how they got here. All of it has been the adventure of my lifetime.
The anchors can be viewed in Cape Vincent's Village Green Park, where they have resided since around 1988.